Welcome to Streaming Into the Voids, What's New in Streaming, where we discuss the highlights of what's available for you to stream the week of October 14th. I'm Kim Hollis, and with me are Raul Buriel, Tim Bridey, and David Mumpower. We'll start with Hulu and Moonlighting, all 5 seasons, which debuted on October 10th, starring Bruce Willis in his breakout role and Sybil Shepherd. Moonlighting has finally arrived on streaming. The show was one of the first examples of a comedy drama, now called dramedies, featuring a mixture of mystery, sharp dialogue, and sexual tension between the leads. This is a long-awaited triumph for streaming.
In the immortal words of Kite Man, hell yeah!
We don't usually talk about old shows returning to streaming services or showing up on streaming. One, because we're focusing on new content and this info is always sometimes hard to find out, but this is a very worthy exception.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. Music rights have prevented this from being a possibility. This and WKRP in Cincinnati are the 2 shows that have pretty much been trapped in limbo for 30 years now. We don't actually know how many of the Moonlighting songs are here. There was a comment that they've gotten 90%. Generally, when people say 90%, they don't mean that, which means it'll be 60 to 70%, and then there'll be some notable oversights. But they've done what they can, and they've worked hard to actually produce this, and you cannot imagine what a big deal it was. Back in the days of box office profits, this is a real thing that happened. One of the studios reached out to us, sent us a collector's edition DVD of Moonlighting, and within 2 years, they had already pulled that product because they found licensing issues with it. And seriously, that stupid DVD set is worth like $500 now. Moonlighting is pretty much the white well when it comes to this stuff. I cannot stress enough what a remarkable accomplishment it is that some form of this is going to exist on Hulu, and I cannot wait to watch Atomic Shakespeare again, quite possibly the greatest episode of television ever.
I still quote lines from that show. I did want to add that Once Upon a Time, Miami Vice was a show that was in that group of series that couldn't come to streaming because of music rights. I did notice that through a mix of Prime Video and Stars, you can apparently get all 5 seasons of Miami Vice these days on Amazon Prime. So at least that show is available on streaming. But I suspect, like with Moonlighting, that some of the songs simply, we just couldn't secure rights to them. And so you're probably going to be missing some of the music.
And that's one of the things. Sometimes it matters and sometimes it doesn't. I'm going to use a different example, which is Sports Night, the old ABC show. They built an entire love story around one particular song by Neil Finn called She Will Have Her Way. On streaming and on DVD, that song is not what they use. I cannot tell you how wrong it feels whenever I watch those sequences because, Aaron Sorkin wrote something magical and trained me to expect a certain thing, and then I don't get it. Moonlighting is facing something similar here, but on the bright side, they did get the one that matters most, which means the Al Jarreau theme song will accompany this, and it wouldn't be Moonlighting without that, would it?
It would not. Another one we missed from Hulu on October 12th is Monster Inside.
This Halloween, take a deep dive into one of America's most extreme destinations of horror. This documentary follows the story of Russ McCamey, the Navy veteran turned master of horror and creator of America's most extreme haunted house. It serves as an expose, as apparently a lot of the people who worked for him have not so nice things to say about him.
Our final new Hulu release is Living for the Dead, Season 1, coming October 18th.
From the creators of Queer Eye, 5 fabulous queer ghost hunters roam the country, helping the living by healing the dead. Oh no. How many active ghost hunters are there on this planet?
You'd think that would be weird, but on my Roku the other day, I saw a series about cowboy alien hunters.
Are they cowboys hunting aliens, or are they hunting alien cowboys?
I didn't check.
We move on to Netflix, which has a busy week, starting with Camp Courage coming October 15th.
In this documentary, a girl displaced by the war in Ukraine heads to summer camp in the Alps with her grandmother, testing the limits of her bravery.
Then on October 17th is The Devil on Trial. Using reenactments and home videos, this documentary investigates the apparent possession of a young boy and the brutal murder that followed. Next up is Heather McMahan, Son I Never Had, coming October 17th.
Hitting her emergency weight. TikTok therapy, joking through her dad's eulogy, comedian Heather McMahan shares all in this relatable stand-up special. I gotta say, I don't know how relatable that is.
Yeah, I don't know either. Also new from Netflix is I Woke Up a Vampire, Season 1, coming October 17th.
All right, I'm not sure this is real, but I'll read it. On her 13th birthday, Carmi discovers she's actually half human, half vampire, as one does. So she apparently has mythical powers that make middle school way more complicated. Okay, sure.
It'll be the Halloween tween hit. On October 18th is Turn to Me Mukai-kun, Season 1.
In this Japanese series based on a popular manga, Satoru Mukai suddenly realizes he's been single for 10 whole years and has no idea how to initiate a new relationship. 10 years? Those are rookie numbers. Come on.
On October 19th is Bodies, a limited series. 4 detectives in 4 different time periods of London find themselves investigating the same murder to solve a mystery that altered the course of British history. This is based on a DC graphic novel.
Boy, that sounds a lot like Life on Mars, doesn't it, Kim?
Mm-hmm.
This one looks fantastic. The premise alone was enough to hook me. I watched that trailer and it was just engrossing. I love the idea. I'm going to be there for this one.
Also on October 19th is Captain Laserhawk, a Blood Dragon remix, Season 1.
Branded an enemy of the state, a cyborg super soldier struggles to find a cause worth fighting for in a dystopian society where nothing is what it seems.
And this is an anime series, but it's French. Next up is Neon, Season 1, coming October 19th.
An aspiring reggaeton star and his best friends move to Miami on a mission. Along the way, they weather roadblocks and reality checks together in their quest for success.
October 20th brings Big Mouth, Season 7.
The Big Mouth kids are headed to high school, but not before anxieties about new friends and new schools make their young lives even more challenging.
Wait, they weren't even in high school yet? Oh, this show is filthy.
Also on October 20th is Creature, a limited series. When tragedy befalls a reckless scientist in Ottoman-era Istanbul, his student uses untested methods to finish his work with devastating consequences. Sounds very Frankenstein-y. Next up on October 20th is Disco Inferno.
In this short film, a young couple conjures up a dark presence that hungers for their unborn baby as they prepare to burn up the dance floor at LA's hottest disco.
These are the moments when I realize we are completely out of creative ideas. Just completely out.
I was going to say, you can tell we're hitting the spooky season, though. October 20th also brings Doona, Season 1.
A college student navigates life and school while dealing with a unique predicament. He's living with a beautiful former K-pop idol, as one does. Are they dating also, or is it like a friend zone thing?
I don't think they're dating. I also don't know if it's just a friend zone thing, so watch and find out. All right, Elite Season 7 will return on October 20th.
Season 7?
Mm-hmm.
Elite's 7th season will tackle mental health and how most of us neglect it out of fear or ignorance.
That's right, folks. It's Elite Week, and that is the 4th anniversary of our talking about Elite Week.
It's going to be bigger than ever, I bet. Okay, we have a new movie debuting on October 20th as well called Old Dads. A cranky, middle-aged dad and his 2 best friends find themselves out of step in a changing world of millennial CEOs and powerful preschool principals. This stars Bill Burr, Bobby Cannavale, Bokeem Woodbine, and Rachel Harris in Burr's directorial debut. Next up is a really stupid-looking reality show called Surviving Paradise, and it's its 1st season.
In this competition, players must form alliances and fight to move from the wilderness into a luxurious villa for a shot at a huge cash prize.
MTV's The Challenge has done this like 25 times now.
Yes, they have.
This is like the anti-survivor, because there, if you move from the wilderness to the luxurious villa, it's because you've been eliminated.
That's right. And the final new Netflix release coming October 20th is Vjeran Tomic, the Spider-Man of Paris.
In his own words, the burglar behind the 2010 robbery of the Paris Museum of Modern Art tells how he pulled off the biggest art heist in French history, and I am here for it. I love these stories.
Yep, I figured you would like that. All right, we move on to Disney Plus and Werewolf by Night in Color coming October 20th.
Speaking of things I love, we've got a colorized version of last year's Marvel special. It'll debut just in time for Halloween. You're going to want to watch it. It's one of the best things Marvel has ever offered on Disney Plus. I am not joking. This is 50 minutes of perfection. People want to talk all they want about the MCU and how it's struggling in quality. You watch Werewolf by Night and you're like, wait a minute, I might have this all wrong. Perfection. And the other thing that doesn't get discussed enough, this is Michael Giacchino. This is an Academy Award-winning composer who just shows up in his directorial debut and hits a grand slam just so casually. His innate understanding of storytelling just blows my mind. It really does.
We move on to Max and Navajo Police Class 57, a limited series coming October 17th. With unprecedented access to the Navajo Nation's police academy and community, this documentary captures the lives of young cadets fighting to protect and serve life on the reservation. Then on October 19th is Peter and the Wolf.
Retelling the classic story with artwork based on original illustrations by Bono. And if the trailer is any indication, the music is in fact the composition by Prokofiev. It looks gorgeous, almost as if they're trying to win an Academy Award.
I was going to ask if it was the Prokofiev music, so I'm glad to hear that the answer is yes. It is iconic. And the final new Max release is Scavenger's Reign Season 1.
After their deep space freighter is damaged, the stranded crew of the Demeter must fight to survive on a beautiful yet dangerous planet.
It's beautiful, but it should also be noted this is an animated series.
Yep. Correct. And we now move on to Paramount Plus and Vindicta coming October 16th.
When a city is terrorized by a sadistic serial killer, a seasoned detective and a newly recruited paramedic are forced into a deadly game of vengeance, only to discover the key to stopping the bloodshed lies in unlocking the truth of their own haunted pasts. This features Sean Astin and Jeremy Piven.
So like Saw without the ultra-violence, I guess?
Yeah, probably.
On October 17th is Crush. This two-part documentary will shed light on Korea's Itaewon tragedy that took the lives of dozens of young people last year. And our final new Paramount Plus release is The Burning Girls, a limited series coming October 19th.
A vicar and her daughter arrive in a new village in hope of a fresh start, but soon find the strange community has terrible secrets, featuring Samantha Morton and Ruby Stokes. And yes, of course, this is based off the best-selling novel. Should be noted that I was only able to find this trailer on the Paramount UK and Ireland YouTube channel, so I don't know that this is actually coming to the US.
All right. We move on to Peacock and Lego Jurassic Park, the unofficial retelling, which actually debuted on October 10th.
From the comfort of his living room and after finding his personal journal, the ever-charming and now slightly older chaos mathematician Dr. Ian Malcolm retells the tale of what happened that dreadful night at Jurassic Park.
I couldn't find credits for this one, but I do believe that it is actually Jeff Goldblum voicing the animated character of Dr. Ian Malcolm, and they really lean into his quirkiness.
I would have to hope so. Our other new Peacock release is Wolf Like Me Season 2 coming October 19th.
It's the second season of the horror thriller starring Josh Gad and Isla Fisher. Season 2 picks up with Gary and Mary taking the next major step in their romantic relationship as they prepare to have a baby.
I really like both of them, but man, I'm surprised this got a second season.
I am as well.
Yeah, Peacock really undersold this one. 4 weeks before the premiere of season 1, I knew this was coming, but I could find almost no marketing materials for it and not even a trailer. Considering Josh Gad and Isla Fisher, you'd think they would have leaned more heavily into the star power here, but the season 1 came and went almost without any notice. And in fact, I was startled to realize that there was a season 2 and that it was coming out next week.
Surprise! We move on to Amazon Prime Video and one that we missed last week in Mr. Dress Up, The Magic of Make Believe, which debuted on October 10th.
This one may only be available in Canada. I see that the trailer is on the Amazon Prime Canada YouTube channel. Kindness, creativity, inclusivity, and a touch of magic makes the world a brighter place. Explore the story and impact of Canadian entertainer Ernie Coombs and his iconic series in this new documentary. This is a must-watch for any Canadian who grew up in the 70s or 80s. You probably watched Mr. Dressup.
Also new from Amazon Prime is Upload, Season 3, coming October 20th. This series featuring Robbie Amell has a new twist, with 2 versions of him now existing for the 3rd season.
Because of the pandemic, this has been stretched out so much that my first thought was, wow, only 3 seasons? That's really surprising to me. And then my second thought was, and Kim, you'll have to answer this, did we even finish watching Season 2?
We did not.
Yikes.
Yep.
You know how we all have that list? Oh, yeah, that's the list of shows I'm going to watch on streaming one day.
Yep.
Whenever I think of that list, Upload is always at the top of it. I watched season 1 and I thought it was a really great premise. I want to watch season 2. I'll get around to it eventually, I suppose. But now I have even more Upload to watch.
That's right. And another new release from Amazon Prime is Silver Dollar Road, coming October 20th.
The waterfront property in North Carolina, known as Silver Dollar Road, is passed through generations in the Reels family. Developers seek out the land and begin to harass the family, leading the Reels to battle to save their land in this documentary.
On Amazon Freebie is Bosch Legacy Season 2, coming October 20th.
After his daughter is abducted, retired detective turned private investigator Harry Bosch does what he has to do in order to find her. That's right, folks. They've run out of ideas already on Bosch Legacy, so they're bringing back the old guy whose daughter has been, wait for it, taken.
Indeed.
Yeah, you'll remember that there was, of course, the Bosch series on Prime Video, and they canceled it and did the spin-off Bosch Legacy on Freevee, with Titus Welliver moving to a supporting role in this series that was going to focus on his daughter. But evidently, everybody saw reason and realized, let's kidnap his daughter and make him the star again.
Sure.
I'm going to go on record as saying that the first season's ratings were not good. Just thinking out loud.
All right, MGM Plus has a new release this week in Billy the Kid Season 2, coming October 15th.
The Lincoln County War explodes with Billy right in the middle. None of this is real. This streaming service, this show, no, this can't be real.
And our last new release is The Pigeon Tunnel, coming October 20th from Apple TV Plus, as Errol Morris brings us the final interview with John le Carré. So I will probably be checking out the Bodies limited series because, like Raul, I think that it looks extremely, extremely good.
There's a great lineup of content this week. Yes, I'll probably rewatch Werewolf by Night. It is one single 50-minute episode, totally worth watching. Of course, I'm going to watch Bodies. I watched all of the original Bosch series. I want to watch Bosch Legacy seasons 1 and 2, so I'll be on that as well. As I mentioned, I'm going to catch up on Upload. There's plenty of good stuff, but probably at the top of my list will be the Mr. Dressup documentary if I can find a way to watch it in the U.S.
There you go.
And then I will probably watch The Spider-Man of Paris because nobody should be able to successfully rob a museum in 2010. What happened there?
And I know we'll all be watching Moonlighting. So go watch something.